purple stands out, no doubt. Put the brand on it, stand on it. Hey, he done went straight, do the work, jerk. Ain't that what he say? Sun done went down on them clouds of they base. This morning to morning, no light on they face. Man, let me get back to my Judas shh. I want the whole earth, we see ruler shit. Your pastor keep capping, they full of it. Chopping they doctors, don't know who they fooling with. We bring the tutelage, man. Better face, we can make time on the grind all day. Gotta ride for the tribe, yeah, the vibe, yeah, the way. Put the moms on the bonnet, cause them bombs safe. Ain't play, Israel united, dividing the hate. We drinking the snake, we ain't biting your base. See you fishing to hear what you saying. They see this gon' pay. Yeah, they gon' pay. I'm patiently waiting. When they all out the way, and the king in this place, and we back in them gates. You gon' see that purple rain. From Detroit to Detroit to Detroit to back to the island. Reach. The army and clean up the problems. Preach. That fervent heat, some more on the beat. So who finna play with it there in the streets? Shush.
I came from where it's drama and it's hostile. Where I'm at, we kill the trauma with the gospel. More than 12, it's like 1,000 apostles. Hit your block and then we dip like it's nachos. What's a op? We in the kitchen where they pop toast. Riding like a Tahoe, never scared of them potholes. We came to save the same ones they made a victim. Plagued with the sickness, the scripture gave the prescriptions. This a doctor bag, blade without the hockey mask. Came to chop up whoever, then it's a body bag. Told them we the sons of God and I got to brag. Whole hood know we in the field like where the cotton at. It be plots and haters that wanna copycat. They know my stock's the greatest, they want a stocking cap. We just patiently waiting to put a stop to that. They gon' see the Black King coming like hope they copy that.
East Babylon, North Philly, the birthplace. Every scenario's usually the worst case. Your block getting shook up, your turf in an earthquake. My goal should've never been here in the first place. We almost home now, this is third base. Smack right off a jerk face with verse face with. I take it personal to the perfect in the earth aglow. And beef, birth control. Built different, still dripping. We ain't scratching the surface, it's still itching. We still sliding on demons, we drill different. Baltimore ain't seen these hitters since Cow. I kinda switch the pitches, mortify my digits, all 6 figures. Either get with us or get lost. In that day, Esau get pissed on when we pissed off. Let's go. Mr. Oppenheimer, don't set this whole fire. Whoa, 1 for 4 like lions coming through the Bernie's fires. Whoa, we ain't getting tired. Doing all our Lord. Whoa, got that fire. Guess that you can call him. Mr. Oppenheimer, don't set this whole place on fire. Whoa, 1 for 4 like lions coming through the Bernie's. Whoa, we ain't getting tired. Doing all our Lord. Whoa, got that burning fire. Guess that you can call him Mr. Oppenheimer. Bang Joppa don't know what the time is. Christ gon' timing. 1 hour, you know he on top. One mind, we young in accord. Never pride, he come from forward. With a fire, I teach for the Lord. Cry from the cold. Just my patterns, I'm getting annoyed. He on bad time, give me no choice. Speak with authority, tell by the voice. Spend 9, he came to this. 60 minutes, go box it. Then I boom him. And at night, he ain't gonna know. Only cheery, what's him? Like what? He script coming, y'all all gon' chop. Finna be jumper who water on the lot. Cover bro, ain't did it, I cop. Look, don't opt out. With this purple ink through it, I'ma pop out. Gotta stay in the spirit, won't drop out. Snakes all around, so you better watch out. Like what? You be the chosen. Gotta get rid of those that be posing. Bomb chop, y'all opposite of frozen. Hold up, I'ma let Micah go in. I ain't dissing no ops, but they dead like. Let them lay to the rest like a red light. God taking people in darkness and breaking it out like a deer in a headlight. Mr. Oppenheimer, don't come through burning them pyres. Whoa, 144 like lions. Don't come through burning these lions. It's that firm, got the screws swinging like a motherfucker. On ships, rockin' slave tie. Now selling the children and his blood required. Amalek, don't get it. I do me up, it's finished. Straight to the grave days. The prophecies is finished. And you cannot run, you'll be overcome when he come flying in the distance. And we in the chariots, watching you burn. This is the Lord's holy destroyer. He coming down with the waster. Big body more than 8 foot. Deep for the night. We take him back data. He coming down with that wormwood. Eat him, I do me an amulet. We brought him. I'm a bear, better get that. 83, that's what it lists at. Isaiah 54 and 16, Mr. Oppenheimer finna bring that. Down the fire, you can't forget that. Now the day star from the far east gon' come down, you can't miss that. Oppenheimer, like 60 minutes on the time. We turn into honey, find you. Like, bought the rhinos and the lions. They bout to wolf for Zion. Like, wolves when we get the biting. We be the kings and priests, we ain't better. Mr. Oppenheimer, gon' set this whole place on fire. Whoa, 144 like lions coming through the burn these fires. Whoa, we ain't getting tired, doing all our Lord desires. Whoa, got that burning fire. Guess that you can call him Mr. Oppenheimer, gon' set this whole place on fire. Whoa, 144 like lions coming through the burn these fires. Whoa, we ain't getting tired, doing all our Lord desires. Whoa, I can burn it fire. You can call him Mr.
Come in, not their Bible casting down imagination.
Check.
Come in, not their Bible casting down.
We back.
Imagination. Come in, not their Bible casting
We
down.
back.
That's right.
Sit up, Noah.
Hey, y'all, we came in real quick.
You said we came in quick? You thought we was gonna go a little longer, huh?
Wasn't paying attention.
Welcome to Casting Down Imaginations, yo. Y'all see the new look?
Yeah.
Same fire, though.
Same fire. Yeah.
That's
Okay, I see the
right.
DJ on point. Shout out to the DJ.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said CDI Avengers.
CDI Avengers.
This is the way things is moving.
I'm telling
now,
you, man,
know?
it's just, it's better.
We doing what we got to do to get the word to the people more efficiently.
That's right.
So this is where it is right now, y'all. Y'all gonna enjoy the show, man. Same
Oh
fire.
yeah, for real. Oh yeah, hey, shout out to DJ MJ on the ones and twos.
DJ
MJ. Chopping, screwing it. Hey, also before we hop into it, remember, am I pointing in the right direction?
I don't even know.
Yeah, the QR code. The QR code. Donate to the Booster Club. It looked like you was pointing in the wrong direction, Noah. But
yeah, it's over there.
Nah, it's on your left.
It's
Oh, my screen is right here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, mine too.
On my screen is on that side. So what they see
Donate.
is on that side. We got you.
Donate. Also, you could text to donate at 646-982-3858. Support so we can continue to do this work and push this truth to the four corners of the earth.
That's right.
All right, so let's hop right into it. Before we get started, y'all know how we open up. Give me that in Corinthians. Reader, you ready? You there, Reader?
Get it.
Reader, you there?
Reader's on mute. He gotta get used to it.
Oh, dang.
Hey,
Shalom.
There you go.
There, I told you he was on mute.
I know. Come on, I know you got a gate over there, man. You ain't got a mute.
My apologies.
Oh, damn.
He still ain't ready. He's still flipping pages.
Hey, I know it's still early. You know, we got get your coffee, man.
Or your pineapple juice.
Or your pineapple juice.
100%. 100%.
Oh, man.
All right. Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right, give me that Corinthians. Corinthians 4.
10 and 4.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 4.
Let's go.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
So as y'all see, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, and we're going to pull down every stronghold. Read on.
That's right.
Casting down the imaginations.
And we're going to cast down them imaginations. I'm telling y'all, because y'all going to have a lot to chime in on today. So I hope y'all ready, because we're going to go into the psyche of the blacks today to cast down all them imaginations. So, all right, so let me pull up this first little image right here. Have y'all heard of the term social engineering?
I have, yeah. I wonder about it in the comments. People, have y'all heard about social engineering? I know Deacon Ithon's brought it out before, right, and a few other bishops and captains and things of that nature. But, you know, sometimes people don't be paying attention to class. Be up there just watching. But, yeah, I heard of social engineering, man. Heck, we live it. I seen it. Exactly. I in the hood. I grew up with it.
Yep.
We just couldn't put a
name to it.
A white man name to it.
Right. Yeah. So it says social engineering is the use of centralized planning, keyword there, planning, in an attempt to manage social change and regulate the future development and behavior of a society. Now, you know, yeah. Go ahead, Cap.
No, I was gonna say that's what you call school to prison pipeline right there.
Oh yeah, we go touch on all that, as well as the media today. But the biggest thing is it's the planning in an attempt to manage social change and regulate the future development and behavior of a society, and in particular the Black and Hispanic society. Yeah. Now, some of y'all might think this ain't biblical. Like somebody put in the comment, they cloned Tyrone. That is an excellent movie of that. Now, some of y'all might think this ain't biblical, but give me Micah 2 real quick. I want to start there, just to preference it. Micah chapter 2.
Look, with Candace Owens, she said there was some CIA agents, like 14 of them, and a regular guy, and they all came in and was like, they gave him a picture of a triangle. Everybody knew it was a triangle. But all the CIA agents said it was a square. So the regular guy felt compelled to say that it was a square, even though he knew it was a triangle, so he wouldn't feel any type of way.
Yeah, I seen that too. I couldn't find it. It was 18 people, and they ran an experiment. 17 of them were CIA agents, and one of them was just a regular person. So they went down the list, and each person said, it's a square, it's a square, it's a square. So by the time it got to the 18th person, like you said, he was compelled in himself to like, okay, I gotta say what everybody else said.
Yep.
And he said
that's what we look like teaching the Bible. God is black. No, he's whatever you want him to be. People are crazy.
Read that, Micah chapter 2, verse 1.
Book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
So when we read the definition right here, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That goes back to that planning, centralized planning. What our people do not understand and not realize is that Esau, they work evil upon their bed. They put systems in place to keep us destroyed. Read on.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
And guess what? They practice what they planned. Read on.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
And it's because it's in the power of their hand, because we broke God's commandments. This Edomite has been set over us, like you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. So the power is in his hand to practice all the centralized planning that this system has devised against blacks and Hispanics. Read on.
And they covered fields and take them by violence.
Because ultimately, the reason for their planning, the reason for their social engineering, the reason for all these different systems is because they want to take your land, your resources, all of that. It's to keep us destroyed so they can continue to profit. It says they covered fields, read.
And they covered fields and take them by violence.
They take them by violence. Remember, the violence, you read, slavery, they raped, robbed, and murdered us. They pillaged us. But guess what? What's that violence today? That violence is going into their media, they systems, their government, they way how they've shaped and warped the minds of black people to where now we do it to ourselves.
Yeah. Hey, I got it. Here's Psalm 49 and 11.
Yes, sir.
Here's the reason behind that social engineering, the planning. It's got a purpose behind it. It's also, they've had a perpetual hatred for the children of Israel. We know that. But this is the reason why they have to social engineer the careful planning, because this is what's in their minds.
Yep.
Psalm 49 and 11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name.
That's why they social engineer the Negro, like cloning Tyrone in every neighborhood, the prison, the school to prison pipeline, to keep us mentally oppressed and physically oppressed to a certain extent. It's so that their future generations can live forever, live comfortable after they're gone. They're not trying to make this place a better and equal society and post-racial society for Negroes. No. They are socially engineering it to make sure that Negroes obey their descendants when they leave.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That goes back to that. They cover fields. They oppress a man and his heritage. Right. Because ultimately that's what they want to do. They want to keep us at the bottom so they can stay on top. Watch this. I'm gonna pull up this next video. Now we know them so-called European Jews, they ain't the real Jews, and that was white on white crime that was heading over there. But the point behind it was they understand image, they understand imagery, they understand how to move the minds of the people. Because listen to what he's saying. He said they put a media campaign to basically destroy the image of the European Jew. They do the same thing for so-called blacks and Hispanics today. Look at our image, look at our imagery, look at the media, what they push in the media, and it's to basically give you a perception of what black people are and how they're supposed to be. He's gonna say that. Watch this. He's gonna say, "Damn."
Yep.
Hey,
that's
man,
exactly what's going on.
So it's they desensitize. Y'all forgive me. I'm country.
Sensitized.
Desensitize. I can't never say that word right. You know, you just said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I said. Go ahead.
What I said. Like he said, they do that and they program our people. So now, when you see all the killings happening in Chicago, when you see all the murders and how our people treat themselves, it gets brushed under, and people are like, okay, they're criminals anyway.
Kill them. Yeah, and that's a heavy point you make, because I was watching something on TikTok, man, and the black dude pulled up the FBI stats of crime in America.
Yes. Oh, we gonna play that.
White folk do that stuff, man, but you always see us on social media. You see us on the 6 o'clock news. It's always you see our image being destroyed so they could justify the killing of the children of Israel. Nobody cares now. They want to get rid of, you know what they calling it now? And it's a made up term, and I got to do a little what's the name, a short on it or something, man. Or maybe even a class how stupid black people are, man. We know whatever white folks say, we run with it. We don't do no research. You know, black fatigue now is being used because they taught black folk. You know, a black woman created that. Wow. A black woman created the term black fatigue as a term to express how black folk are tired of living in a racist society. It's for black folk being fatigue is black folk being tired of white racism. White folk come up and say black fatigue, I'm tired of black folk, and now everybody is running with black fatigue means we tired of black people. That's not even the original meaning of it.
Right.
But that's how we follow our slave master, and now they've created this new definition for black fatigue. So now everybody's tired of black folk, especially on Carnival Cruises.
especially on Carnival. They mad about them Carnival Cruises. And Carnival ain't budget on it either. Hey, that's crazy though. I didn't know that was started by a black woman. Yeah. Damn. Hey, you mentioned that video. I wanted to play it because it is heavy when you actually look at the statistics, and that goes into that imaging that we just watched in the other video that Umar was talking about. Watch this.
15% of the population commit 50 to 60 to 70 to 90% of the crime, referenced in this FBI study. But if you actually look at it, it doesn't say that.
It says when you actually look at it, hold up.
And you'll even hear people who quote this say, oh, it was only males. Oh, 6%. I mean, 7%. They never actually look at the chart. But if you look, you'll see who the majority of the crime is. Another meme you won't see is this stat, which would probably get my video taken down, but you can read it from the same site. Or this one, which is even more disturbing. The majority of these crimes or a particular type of crime is actually done by a completely different demographic. I mean, if you look at domestic violence, if you look at, there's so many words I just can't say, or this video would get flagged. But basically, we're actually not. And the icing on the cake, I should have started this video with this, but that same demographic, that 13%, makes up 60% of all exonerations. And you probably don't even know what that word is.
Dang. Hey, that's heavy because he didn't say it because, he said my video would get flagged and take it down. Yeah. But the other demographic he was talking about, we'll say it. He talking about white folks.
Yep.
White people.
White people.
White people. That's who he talking about. But hey, that's heavy. That's heavy. He talking about YT people. That's what we talk about. Esau, according to the Bible. But that's heavy because media portrays us as, that goes back to the last video we saw. Media portrays us as criminals. It portrays us as hoodlums, gangsters. So when you hear these statistics, they don't put the race out there. They just say, 7% are males and this many percent make up that. So you just automatically assume it was black people. It was black folks.
Yep, exactly right.
And that goes back. Hey, we didn't finish that. Go back to Micah 2. Finish verse 2.
Yeah, man. They evil. That's warfare.
Evil. Warfare. You're 100% right. Reader, you there?
He's on mute again. He got to get
Nah, I hear the pages flipping. He ain't used to read. He used to be behind the board.
I got it. Micah chapter
I got it too.
2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So
Watch
they oppress a man and his heritage. Even oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
That's how they do it today. How they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, is through their media, through the image. They destroy the black image. That's how they oppress us. That's how they keep us in the slums and the ghettos. Because remember, and we go touch it a little bit. Remember, back in the early 40s, 50s, 60s, here in America, black people, they had a lot of it was not under the guise of the law, statutes, and commandments. But they had a sense of unity. They had a sense of image. They had a sense of family. And Esau knew, okay, we got to destroy that. Watch this. I'm gonna play this. Unless y'all got something, I'm gonna play this next video.
Yeah, man. Give me that in Hosea 3 and verse 4 real quick, because it goes back to what you was talking about. Hosea chapter 3, verse 4. You there? Read it. Where you at? Read that for us. Oh, he need audio. Okay, his audio.
Check. Can you hear me?
There we go. There we go.
Okay. Yes, sir. The book of Hosea, chapter 3 and verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image.
That's the point we wanted to get to. Without an image. We've been many days without an image because it's been destroyed systematically through social engineering over a process of time where now you don't even see the black man as a man. You don't see him as a father anymore. You only see him as a criminal, a hoodlum, a rapper, an NBA player. How many people that, and a lot of tall people can attest to this. Just because you tall, they automatically think you're an NBA player if you black. That's straight up
100%.
They'll say, man, you look like a doctor. They do not say that.
Or Cap, if they see a group of you, it's either one or two things. Either you some gangsters, but if you're not dressed like them, you gotta play. Y'all gotta be a sports team. You have to be a sports team.
Yep, that's exactly right. Go ahead, Cap.
Hey, y'all see?
We got somebody new.
Jazz. Yeah. Jazz made it to the stage. Hey, why you come on here looking all studious?
Man, his mic muted too.
Look at all studious.
Slow, Caps, most high and Christ bless.
There you go.
There you go. Slow, man.
He
Brothers
made.
Don't check the group.
Oh, praises.
Welcome.
He in there.
The new look show. Welcome.
New look show. All right, I'm gonna play this next video.
Commit.
The people telling me that the music that we are hearing, which is demonic and possessed, is something that we should be asserting claim over. Like, you have to defend Black artists that are producing filth. And I say, no, actually, it's been very clear to me for a long time that Black culture has been infiltrated, that there is some sort of an intentional push to sign artists who are creating music that is more and more derogatory. In fact, I think that Black music and music all across the board has become somewhat pornographic, but especially Black music. I mean, I grew up listening to The Temptations, Lauryn Hill. You can't tell me that these executives, these record executives, are crawling all across social media and this is the best talent that they can find. Of course it's not.
You think that's hypocritical though?
Oh,
you're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
Hey, that right there goes back to the point we read in Psalms 49 as well as Micah 2. He said, I got people to feed. I got a family to run. Listen, I got to keep these what he's saying is I got to keep these Black people oppressed so that we can continue to stay in the state that we're in. At the top, rulership, the rich on the earth. Understand that. Don't get it twisted. All this stuff is by design, and that's what Candace is bringing out. All this stuff is by design. It's been infiltrated. Because when you look, she pulled up the Temptations, and when you listen, when you go way back, music from just from the 50s and 60s up has drastically changed and morphed in the Black community.
Yep. Hey, give me that in Psalms 19 and verse 7. The reason why our people have not realized that we are being destroyed systematically and they're actually agreeing to their destruction. And this white man pointed, he going Breakfast Club. I got mouths to feed.
Right.
He literally telling, I'll pump dope in your Black community because I got to feed my kids. And there's not an uproar. There ain't no media boycott. There ain't no, we not buying this stuff no more. None of that from our people. It's because we walking in darkness. Psalms 19 and 7 is going to say it. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 7.
Let's go.
The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. Testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Read.
The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes.
That's why we don't see a problem with that kind of music and a white man going on a Black radio station. It ain't ran by black folk, but the hosts are black folk, and they talk about black problems. White man come on there and say, I know I'm a hypocrite of pumping this type of music in your community, and nobody says nothing. Don't nobody say, hey, cancel Def Jam. What radio or record label does he own? We not buying no music from there no more until he puts out something positive on these radio stations. That's because the eyes of our people have not been enlightened.
Facts.
You walk in darkness, so when you hear darkness, it sounds good to you. And the only way you're going to be able to realize that we are being destroyed behind the scenes, because it ain't so much in our face no more. Now it's done on a higher level. The only way you're going to be able to see that is when your eyes are enlightened through the commandments of God. That's what happened to every single one of us. We see the world in a different way now, and we looked at it as crazy.
Hey, not only that, Cap, you got to think, because you made a heavy point. That's a black show. That's I see Zamar in the back chat. That's an urban show.
Yeah, urban.
That's an urban show that's meant for black people, and you have urban and black hosts who don't say nothing. Mm-hmm. That lets you know they've been set up. They know, okay, yeah, I can't say nothing because this man is speaking, put me in this position, and if I speak on it, yeah, I ain't gonna have this position no more. I'm telling you, all that plays a part in the social engineering, the changing the image. They have to get our people to go along with the destruction. That's why they don't say that. They just sit back and go, wow. Mm-hmm. You don't think that's controversial? Oh, no, don't say nothing.
Nope. Not at all. They're getting paid. You can't speak against the oppressor, the same one that's writing your checks. You're not gonna do it.
Nope.
Not especially if you have not been emboldened by the Spirit of Christ.
Right.
When you don't have the truth, the Spirit of Christ, the black Messiah that the Bible talks about, man, you ain't going to say nothing. You're going to see it and you're going to look the other way. It ain't my problem. And we all used to live like, hey, man, it ain't got nothing to do with me. And we would just go our way and worry about our business. But when the Spirit of God come on you, you bold as a lion. You're going to call out the atrocities that you see happening to your people.
Facts.
And ain't nobody willing to lose they financial gain to feed their family to speak against this great system that Esau has put us in.
Mm-hmm. And you know why? You know why though, Noah, Captain Noah, is because this Edomite has castrated all the black men that have tried to do that. What did they do to what was his name? Colin Kaepernick, when he peacefully protested.
Right.
You ain't seen that Negro play a football game since.
Nope. And you had none of our people come together in support.
That's the crazy thing about it, man.
Same thing with Kyrie. He had the support and fumbled it and went right back to sleep.
Meanwhile,
religious, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, he did. Sure did.
Meanwhile, Dylan Roof can go and shoot up a church, and then they take him to Burger King afterwards.
That's crazy.
National hero.
Yeah, sure.
And they come together and make a GoFundMe. He becomes a millionaire overnight. They make a GoFundMe to get to pay for his bills and things of that nature. I'm telling you,
you're a millionaire in prison. Damn.
Yep.
When you was just 100 there before you went in there and killed black folk, but you go in prison a millionaire.
That shows you the difference between our society and other societies when it comes to supporting their people. Now, granted, we ain't supporting no Negroes in wickedness, but the point is they come together. Like you said, Colin Kaepernick was hung out to dry. You didn't see like nobody spoke up for nothing, and he was just taking a knee for all the social injustice happening. All right, so we'll move to this next video. Watch this.
That are used to socially engineer us are the first thing is called school. The second major entity that's used for social engineering is called the church.
Woo!
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Pause it right there.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Right past that.
Hey, listen. Hey, I know. I gotta look at the camera. I know you so-called Christians in the Christian church thought we would go talk about y'all today. You sadly mistaken. We casted down them imaginations.
Right. He said school and the church, and that's the two places that black folk go the most.
Yep.
School and
church.
So in school, you are taught white supremacy, and then it's reinforced when you go to church.
Yep. Facts.
All around. So by the time you go to school, then you go to church, and you're on your way home, you hate yourself already. Already. Dang.
I'm gonna continue playing.
Believe it or not, and it's in this order. The next major entity that's used for social engineering is known as correctional facilities. Why they call them correctional facilities?
So you had school, church, prison. Because I know we say school to prison pipeline, but remember, the church is right there in the middle too. Because growing up, all of us growing up, you was in school Monday through Friday, and then you went to church on Sunday.
Yep.
And all of that shaped you as a child as you're growing up.
Yep.
And it either 90% of us, well, I say I ain't gonna say 90, but majority of us lead to prison in some shape or form of our people. Tell you, it's a reason why it's in that order. Because don't forget about the church when you talk about that school to prison pipeline.
Yeah.
No, it's in that order because by the time you get done with school, then you go to church, you're on your way to prison. That's why it's in that order right there. That school gonna tear you down mentally. That church is gonna reinforce it, and then you come out of there hating your own people.
Yep,
you going to jail.
And we're gonna touch all that. Hey, somebody has posted in the comment. I ain't even played the video. I'm gonna play the rest of the video, but they made a heavy point. I'm gonna post it on the screen. It says the prison system,
Department of
don't correct nothing.
Yeah. You're right.
Which is 100. It's called correctional facilities, but they don't correct anything because their job isn't to correct the behavior. Remember, this is all a part of social engineering. The purpose of the correctional facility is to instill and keep that behavior going. That's why when people go in, they get what is called institutionalized.
Yeah.
To where now they are completely in the system. Watch it. He go say it.
Is known as correctional facilities. I don't know why they call them correctional facilities, because they don't correct anything. The next entity that is known for social engineering is something called the military.
Okay.
That's different.
The hospitals.
And it goes on and on and on to you.
He said everything.
Clubs and organizations.
Everything, hospitals, military, your clubs, your organizations, everything that is fed to black people in this society is a form of social engineering, which when you look at it, it makes sense. Even with the hospitals, which we ain't gonna go in depth on that, but we've touched on it many a times. You had the apartheid, the medical apartheid, and things of that nature, to where they were sterilizing.
Tuskegee experiment.
The Tuskegee experiments, all those things is a form of social engineering. Is to keep our people oppressed, to experiment on our people, things of that nature. But the biggest things I want to focus on is the school, the church, and the correctional facilities or prisons as people know them. Watch this. I'm gonna play this next video. You got something, Cap?
No, go ahead.
Community, we were prepared by setting certain goals, objectives for ourselves. This was done primarily in the home, in the church, and in the school at that particular time, because.
So back in the day, listen to what he's saying. This was prior to the 80s and the 90s. This was Jim Crow area, Black Codes area. He said that black people set goals in the home. And in the church, they set goals. They had a sense of community and things of that nature. You don't see that today in the black community. Nah. You don't see that in school. You don't see that in church. You don't see that nowhere. Mm-hmm. Watch this.
Schools had a heavy reinforcement into our characters because they were black schools.
Ooh, he said schools had a heavy reinforcement into our character because they were black schools. What people don't realize is segregation was the best thing for our people.
Yep.
Integration is what began the decline of our people, and is what you see today. Because Esau understood, okay, yeah, these Negroes are separate and they are coming together. They started stuff like Black Wall Street. You got all these different black communities are thriving. Oh, no. We got to destroy them, integrate all these things to destroy us. Because once we integrate it, look where the decline went of our people, which we're going to touch on it. You going to say something, Cap?
Yeah, the decline more than monetarily was mentally.
Yes.
That's where the decline went, because as we was in our own schools, you know what you saw every day being reinforced into you? That beautiful black hair that God gave us. Yep. Everybody had the same hair. We was all different shades of brown amongst each other. We all talked alike. Hell, we all had for the most part, had the same level of income coming in. So there wasn't no jealousy amongst each other. Once you integrated, you saw all these other things and you wanted to be those things. And now what happened? It destroyed our mental, especially with the women who have fragile self-esteems already, that are complement-based creatures as God has created them. They need it to be reinforced. They need to be told these things. They went there and seen Becky, and they seen all these Edomites.
Yep.
And they seen that their own man was gravitating towards them. What did they do? They began to hate their own hair. They hate the way their skin looked. And you seen that, and that hatred has increased throughout the ages since integration of the school. It destroyed us mentally more than anything else.
Yep, 100%.
Schools were not integrated at that time. Do the best that you can with your life. You are unique. You have a contribution to make. You have something to offer. You have a talent. You have skills. Many, many other things that you do have. Go on out there into the world and get them. Don't stay here in Farmville. There's nothing here for you.
Hey, and that's heavy. Because I know we look at the. I know you mentioned it wasn't so much monetary, but mental. Because think about it. For them instilling that in those schools, that empowered our people to want to be doctors, to want to be lawyers, to want to own businesses. And that's where you seen places like Black Wall Street stem up. You seen places like Rosewood stem up because our people had the mental capability and the know-how to be able to do these things. But when you look at us today, what do you see? The only thing, and it goes back to your point, the only thing people want to be and esteem and aspire to is to be a basketball player, a rapper, or an OnlyFans model. That's all our people esteem for.
Yep, that's it.
Dang.
Let us know when you want to talk, officer, man. Jazz, just what the hell? I don't know what you're looking at. Let us know when you want to talk.
Right, Jazz just came to sit on stage. You just want everybody to see you, huh?
Yeah. Hey, but y'all, captains, man, y'all bringing out some good points. Cause when you have your own schools, like y'all said, you're able to teach your kids how important they are, how great they are. You know what I'm saying? Being the chosen people of God, especially our daughters, cause we all grew up in, well, I don't know about y'all, but I know I grew up in public school. We all grew up in public school here.
Shoot, we all
hold on, Jazz.
Nobody got no private schools right here. What you talking about?
You didn't just grow up in public school. You grew up in maybe one of the worst public schools.
In
the SIP.
Being in those schools, you can see how other nations are treated differently, especially in classrooms. You know what I'm saying? They looked at as smarter. When questions need to be answered, the teacher kind of gravitate towards them, especially for extra help. You see those things, so our sisters and our men try to be more like them. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's straighten the hair, you know what I'm saying? You start hating your skin color, you start hating your own people. Now you no longer hang with your own people no more. You hang with them. You go to their communities. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what our people tend to do when we started integrating with these other nations.
Yep.
Get that in Psalms 106 real quick, because God spoke about that. That's the reason why God, he separated all the people.
Yep.
He told us, you stay here. Don't mess with none of these people over here. He knew what was going to go on. Psalm 106, 34, 35. You got to read
the book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 35. Let's go. But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works, and they served their idols, which were a snare unto them.
There you go. That's what happens right there. We mingled among the heathen, then we learned their works, and then their idols became a snare. And we know Christ spoke about those idols that the other nations have. It's clothes, it's houses, it's all these things that are earthly. And those same things we are here chasing. Look at the black people today, the mind of the black folk, of the youth, and just the way society is moving in the earth today. All we care about is money. Yep. Morality is gone. We have become hateful towards one another. We don't speak to one another. You only speak to people that got money. You got women on social media. I can't talk to nobody that ain't a millionaire. We're not even in the same room. When you get all uppity, nigga? Oh, sorry. We on I'm gonna get us off TikTok. You all uppity, Negro. Come on, man. All right, go ahead.
Hey, watch this. Hey, get Deuteronomy 28, because you spoke about the hate. Get Deuteronomy 28, read verse 54. Because ultimately, it all filters back to we broke God's commandments, and that's why these things come into our community. These things happen to us. Yeah, we know all of it stems from what we're going over, but the root of it is because we broke God's commandments. But watch this. Read that, Deuteronomy 28, read verse 54.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 54. Come on! So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
Meaning he kept God's commandments. He understood who his enemy was. He understood the commandments of God and love thy neighbor as thyself. He understood these things. He understood how to take care of his household. Watch this, read.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eye will begin to turn evil towards his brother. That's what you see in our communities today. Because we lack that sense of unity. We don't know we forgot who the enemy was. We ain't applying God's commandments. Our eyes turned evil towards one another. Watch this, read.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
And understand this. Guess what? The enemy understands this as well. That's why they do everything they can do through their social engineering to keep you in sin. That's why the media is set up the way it is, because they understand when you in sin, okay, yeah, this stuff gonna be on repeat. Your eye gonna turn evil. Y'all gonna hate one another. All we gotta do is just keep pushing it and make sure you stay asleep and breaking God's commandments, and we'll be good. We'll be able to overthrow you. Watch this. Get Jude 5 and 20. Some of y'all might not believe that Esau understands this. Go ahead.
And to that point, Cap, Good Times was the perfect example of that. When they took him out of the household, the family declined. And that was the social engineering that said, okay, this is what we need to push. Remove the black family and let the woman be the head of everybody, and she's going to do all the work for us.
Oh, you in the spirit, because we definitely got a video on that.
Go ahead, read Jude.
The book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 20.
Watch this, read.
Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
So when you examine the book of Judith, these were the other nations that took a council. I believe this was a Moab that was giving a report on the children of Israel. And he let the general know. He said, listen, if there's no error, meaning sin in these people, keep it moving. Move past them. Read on.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
But if there is error in this people, if there is sin in his people, we could go up. This is going to be their ruin. We can overcome them. So the other nations know that if they keep us in sin, they can overcome us. That's why anytime we unify, anytime we try to come together, they fear that because they know when we come together, there's a chance that Bible could be introduced, and they'll start keeping God's commandments and overthrow us. That's why J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI director, said the worst thing to America is Negro unity. Because that's why they all the plots and the systems that they deployed back in the 50s and the 60s was to destroy and break up that unity. Because they know when black people unify, there's a chance that Bible is going to get introduced, and they're going to wake up and keep God's commandments.
Yep. Hey, let me get Romans 1 and just verse 26, just to see where we're at mentally, because our imaginations went everywhere. And if you try to pinpoint a Negro to where he's supposed to go, he's going to find every excuse of rebellion to not serve what he looks like, his culture. And this is where we're at in society today. Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections.
And that's why you see our entertainers, our black men, everybody want to be everything else but what they supposed to be. Read.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So that's where we're at in society. Nobody wants to be what they're supposed to be. Leaders want to be followers. Followers want to be leaders. Everybody's chasing what the white man gave them as what's supposed to be a dream, but it's a nightmare for us.
Right.
Nobody want to be in their rightful place.
Hey, it was a lyric by one of my favorite artists, and only our old heads know what I'm talking about. CeeLo Green. Captain AZ has a problem.
I don't have a problem with him.
He has a problem with CeeLo Green.
No, I do not. I do not have a problem with CeeLo Green. He need to repent.
Right, he does need to do that. He got a lyric in one of his songs that says, everybody want to be somebody. Nobody wants to be themselves. I said, damn, that was a cold bar right there when he said that, man. Everybody out here faking, everybody out here chasing something that they only want because of the media put it in front of their face.
Right.
Man, we don't need 100 pair of Jordans that cost $200-$300 a piece. Come on, folks. We don't need that stuff. You only want it because social media has made you think this is the sign of this is status right here. And if I got every pair of Jordan that come out, even if I got 2 or 3 pair of the same kind because they just released the same ones over and over again, then I'm going to be looked at as the man in the hood. Man, stop it, man.
Right. Keep your black card.
Yeah, that's how you keep your black card. Everybody want to be somebody. Nobody wants to be themselves.
Damn. Hey, so watch this. Still touching on the school before we switch gears. I had to look up some stuff. Damn. Y'all might not can see that. Hold on. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Hold on.
Hey, you got a man with glasses squinting his eyes. Shit.
There we go. Y'all can see that now.
Did he zoom in here with his face?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man, I had to get in close. I couldn't see it at all.
What that say right there?
Oh man.
Goodness.
So it says, I searched black schools compared to white schools. It says historically, in many cases still today, schools serving predominantly black students population have faced systemic underfunding and resource disparities compared to those serving predominantly white populations. So when you look at it, we integrated, but we integrated to now they have more control over
what you
learn.
Yep.
And watch this though. Because when you go down, it says, here's some more details of issues. It says historical context. Segregation. It says, the legacy of segregation of legally mandated separation in the U.S., particularly during the Jim Crow era, resulted in stark inequalities between black and white schools. That's what they say. Even after Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954, which declared segregation in public schools. They say these things and they try to say, well, yeah, it wasn't equal. It was a disparity. So Brown versus Board of Education, because we got to eliminate segregation. But watch this. When I go down,
you hear that goes right with
you said you got what?
The image which they go right with that. Go ahead. I'm gonna
well, I wanted to play that. So here's this net. Now, so when I read that, I said, okay. I searched, were black schools better before integration? It says, while black schools during segregation often fostered strong community and provided dedicated educators. So before integration, the schools fostered a strong community and provided dedicated educators.
Yeah. That means we had teachers that cared.
Yes. Watch this. It says positive aspects of black schools before integration. Strong community and identity. Black schools served as a vital community hubs with teachers often holding prominent positions of respect and influence. Why? Because this was someone that looked like you. Man, y'all remember all the old movies? Y'all remember Mr. Clark?
Mr. Clark. Yeah.
Come on now.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack, don't you? Because it was somebody that the children can relate to. That these kids ain't relating to Becky and Billy.
Yeah, but it was somebody that cared. They had influence though too, because them teachers lived in the same neighborhoods that we lived in. And if you acted up at school, when they got home, they just went and go and tell your father. And then your father's coming for you. So that was the influence that they had, is that, hey man, I'm down the street from you. Act up here. I'm telling your parents, buddy. It ain't like that no more. Now you've got Becky and them, you got Edomites that now teach our kids white history, and then they go back to where they live at in the suburbs and the affluent neighborhoods, and we go back to the projects where we from, and they ain't telling our parents, man, you know, all the dirt kids do in school, and then they go home and it never get to the parent. Hell, black folk, we don't even go to what's the thing they used to call PTA meetings?
PTA meetings,
yeah. How many of y'all know about PTA? Put it in the comments. If you know about PTA meetings, put it in the comments if you know what it stands for. Let's see if you know what it stands for. That's the thing. We don't do that stuff no more. But
not at all.
As they got that in, I'm gonna pull this up right here. This is before segregation. This is where people think that we needed to come together because we was just doing so bad as a black folk, and we was behind that we couldn't read. We didn't know nothing. Well, we did all this before we segregated. Before segregation.
Hey, Rita, can you see that?
I'll read it. Here. It says black inventors, air conditioning unit, 1949. Sheesh. When you go to the DC Brown versus Boyd, that was 1954. So all of these are before 1954. Air conditioner, the almanac in 1791, the auto cutoff switch 1839, auto fishing, baby buggy, biscuit cutter. Man, that might be the best one. Blood plasma bag.
The biscuit cutter is the best one.
Hey, man, some good biscuits.
Hey, not the AC unit. No, not the AC unit, but the biscuit cutter.
The elevator is on there. The door stop. Let me pull up the other one here, man. You see a golf tee, guitar, hairbrush, ice cream scoop, keychains, long springs, lemon squeezer, man, mailbox, peanut butter, and all the stuff that came with that. Rolling pin, spark plug for your daggone car.
Hey, Cap. Hey, you know what's heavy with what you bringing out? Remember, in school, the only thing we learned about somebody that was an inventor was freaking George W. Carver and peanut butter. That's the only thing. That's the only person that they talked about in school when it came to any type of invention. They didn't never mention none of this stuff.
Wait, that and Garrett Morgan with the traffic light.
That's
sometimes.
It. Sometimes. I go and tell you now. In my school, nope. All we heard was peanut butter and George Washington Carver. That was
Look at this stuff. Black folk created the fire extinguisher, the fire escape ladder, elevator, eye protector, folding chair, This is the everyday stuff in society that it can't function without this stuff. A clothes dryer. The world can't. It cannot function without us, man. And this was all before we integrated into the schools, man. We didn't need that stuff. Us teaching ourselves and teaching our kids, man, it expands the mind because you don't have the pressures of trying to worry about getting spit on and rocks thrown at you at the school, or even trying to compare yourself to what Edomites have.
Hey, Cal, that's a heavy point, because when I go back to this, watch what it says under roll. It says, because these are some of the positive effects of having segregation in the schools and black teachers and everything black. It says role models and positive influence. Black teachers served as powerful role models for their students, instilling pride and a belief in their potential.
That's heavy.
A belief in it instilled that, and that's where you got these inventors, because now growing up as a child, you're being instilled that you can do this, you good. And we're gonna play a video of it. To where now, when you get older, you have the self-esteem. That's what it says on the next one. It says focus on character development. These schools often place a strong emphasis on character development, self-esteem, and community and involvement. So all these things played a factor back then to where you seen how we as a society were moving.
That's heavy.
To where now segregation happens, and what do you see? You see the decline of
desegregation.
Desegregation, integration happens, and now you see our people have gotten worse and worse. Where's the list of inventors at? The only thing our people want to invent is a new twerk dance or a new a new way to do some type of evil. Hey, watch this. Get Zephaniah 2:1.
Cap Dole's great. Say something.
Go ahead, Cap.
That was heavy with the character development and self-esteem. That is two of the main things that we're lacking as to why we create only evil and went backwards on all the inventions. You can ask. I asked somebody, were we better in segregation or no? The brother said, yeah, we were absolutely better when we were segregated. But that's not the way society is going now. And that's the direction that we need to go. We're going to be better if we stick together as all nations. And God isn't going to stop. You just contradicted everything you said. We are better without them. We are the backbone of society. We create everything. Negroes irk me. I'm telling you, they irk me.
Hey, read that Zephaniah 2:1.
Yes, sir. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
There's a reason why this was written in the Bible. God wants us to come together. He wants us to unify as one nation ourselves, because we're a nation that's not desired. None of these other nations desire us. So don't get it twisted for 1 second thinking that they're going to implement something that's for the benefit of the Black and Hispanic community. Because we're an undesirable nation. That's why God tells us to gather ourselves together. And we have glimpses of the greatness when you go back into history of when we actually unified and gathered ourselves together of what we could obtain to. Now we must gather ourselves back together under the Bible. And guess what? The earth is ours for the taking.
Right.
We just got to come together in God's laws.
That's right.
All right, so hey, I want to play an example of the video because I know we read it from the internet, and somebody I can hear it now. Somebody might say, "Well, that's ChatGPT, and that might not be real." Watch this.
One of the most controversial broadcasts of the 1968 season. It drew awards and protests in equal measure.
Now, granted, this is footage from 1968, which was after Brown versus the Board of Education, but in the years after it, you still had segregation. It wasn't until you start getting into the 90s and the 2000s to where stuff was kind of fully, their system and plan was fully in place.
Here is its key scene.
What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Now, granted, we know that ain't our true nationality.
Afro-American.
We the Israelites.
That's
but
right.
The point is, though, He's at a young age being taught what? Who he is, his culture, things of that nature. That's what having your same race teaching you, instructing you. Granted, yeah, it was outside of the God's commandments, but with us coming back to God's laws today, that's what we're trying to implement. Because now at a young age, you're being taught, hey, as soon as he got up, he didn't ask him a question. He didn't say, hey, 2 + 2. He said, what's your race? What's your that? Who are you?
He pushed his chair in too. He learned manners. He pushed his chair in. He stood up straight.
Yep.
What is freedom?
Freedom is black power.
What is black
Damn. He said, what is freedom? Freedom is black power.
You can't get grown men to speak that solid,
right?
Confident. Open your mouth. You're a grown man. Speak like a man.
They look around.
Hear you mumbling.
Look left. Look right.
But this goes back to that social engineering.
He won't say black power.
Nah. But this goes back to that social engineering where they had to put things in place to destroy this. Because think about it. With this type of mind, with this type of culture and cultivation in the communities, you insert God's laws come into factor, and our people change at a rapid rate. And Esau understood that. They like, nah. These black people, they unifying too much. They in there, they teach it. Nah, we got to do something.
Do you know what black power is?
No.
Well, then you should never should never make any statements if you don't know what they mean.
Dang.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
All right. How old are you, young man?
I am 4 years old.
You're not 4. Now you tell me your right age. How old are you?
Yes, that's a 4-year-old.
How old are you?
I am 4 years old.
Are you sure you're 4?
Yeah.
Hey, this part right here is heavy because this is really why I pulled a video to show the psyche and how he's training this child to have that self-esteem and to be able to stand on what you say. Because he's saying, I'm 4 years old. He said, no, you ain't 4. Now you see the child's all confused. Like, watch this.
You're going to let me turn you around and tell you you're some other age? You're 6 years old, Eric.
No.
I can't hear you, Eric.
No.
Are you
Dang.
being frightened by me?
No.
I'm a teacher. I said you're 6.
I am 4 years old.
All right, then. You stand up for it, then. You shouldn't be weak. You stand up and say it. You ought to scream it in my face if I try to tell you different, right?
Yes.
Have a seat.
Dang. I'm telling you, that's heavy right there, boy.
That's good stuff right there, man.
Hey, Cap, Mama, get a script.
Go ahead.
You said something on Captain Noah?
Let me get Deuteronomy 6, 7. Because as simple of scripture that this is, it is affirmation to the soul and what we must do and the development that comes with it. Just 6 and 7.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
To teach them is teach them the laws, because the laws of God gives you that confidence for so-called black power. Read.
And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
That's what having a community, us being segregated from the rest of the world, it gives us that focus. So when anybody comes in to try to infiltrate us, no, that's stupid.
Right.
There's no such thing as a white Jesus. There can only be one Jesus. It's
right.
It's an
You hit it on
insult
the
that
head.
we have to say black Messiah, or they
Right.
call us black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
No, we're the Israelites. We are the sons of God. That is affirmation to the soul that no one can take from us. And our kids ain't learning that. They're learning to be white people.
That's the
to
point
talk
right there.
without base.
Yep.
Hey, that's heavy, Cat. That's the point right there. At a young age, he's being instilled that don't let nobody lie to you. Don't let nobody tell you differently. You call a spade a spade. Same thing. And that's what you see today with us. Listen, you see that image? I don't care what they say. That image, that ain't Christ. Christ was a black man. And you stand on it. And you say it with your chest, too.
That's right. Go ahead, officer.
Hey, Captain, no, use in the spirit, man. I'm gonna get a precept on that. Give me Proverbs 22 and verse 6. Because just like that man was doing, I mean, yeah, we know he ain't really teaching him the laws of God, but he teaching him, this young man, this 4-year-old, how to stand up for himself and how to speak boldly, especially to his oppressor, especially to his enemy. Because that's what our people do. That's what our enemies do. They speak to us in a way to kind of make us have this low self-esteem, you know, lower our voice. And today, parents teach their kids to speak softly, lower your voice when you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? But read it for me, Reader.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
It say, train up a child in the way he should go. We have to raise our sons to be bold, raise our sons to be able to stand up for themselves confidently, especially when they stand up against the oppressor, right? Read.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So now when he become an adult, now he's a man. Now he able to stand up manfully. Now he able to stand up and speak great words, speak the words of God without fear, without doubt in his mind when he speak up against the oppressor. That's why you see a lot of these young men, when we go out there and teach, they be afraid to even say,
right, around black people.
Be like, say it.
Hey, right. Yeah, you be looking around like,
we're talking to history.
Hey, they do this.
Look
right.
Look up, look down.
Bro, they look around like it's a death sentence to say it.
Right. Hey, I'm telling you this. That's a good scripture you poured out, officer, because they teach their kids that.
Right.
Yeah.
White folk teach their kids that. How you think they able to grow up and tell other black folk, full-grown black man, who you talking to?
Boy.
I call the police on you.
Right.
You at work. I work for Amazon. No, you're not. You in here trying to steal from us. You got to leave this neighborhood. Get out of here. Because they've been told as a young child, don't you ever let these black folks think they better than you.
Yep.
Right. That's what's being told in them white households.
100%.
You testifying, Cap?
Yes, I am. 100%.
Play the next video.
Happening. Hey, so this was a heavy clip for Malcolm X. Read that. And this goes back to your point, Captain Noah.
It says, only a fool would let his enemy teach his children.
Only a fool will let his enemy teach his children, because they're not going to teach you anything that's beneficial for your society. They're only going to teach what's beneficial for their society. And we know what's beneficial for their society is blacks and Hispanics at the bottom of society in sin. So they're not going to teach you. You ain't going to see that, like that video we just saw. You don't see that in the school today. That's where integration was detrimental to our people. All right, so I'm gonna put up this next video, and it's gonna go with what you said it earlier, Captain Noah. But I'm gonna play it.
78% of black husbands were in their homes, married to the mother of their children, when they started the social engineering of the welfare.
Because think about it, we still talk about social engineering. We ain't moved away from that. All this ties into it. So I'm gonna run it back from the beginning. Listen to what she said.
78% of black husbands were in their homes, married to the mother of their children, when they started the social engineering of the welfare state. Fast forward 50 years, 78% of black children are being raised in single-headed households.
Dang! So it goes back to the school, the church, and that prisoner pipeline. Guess what they had to do to implement a lot of this stuff? They had to take the husband, the fathers out of the home. So where now you have single mothers raising these kids, and a lot of these single mothers, because in order to get welfare, the husband couldn't be in the household. The husband couldn't be there. And you started to see it in movies. You started to see it being pushed. And eventually, she said 50 years later, you see now, before 78% of the husbands and fathers was in the house. Now 50 years later, 78% are single households. That's engineering. That's by design. Straight up. And what are these mothers doing? They're letting social media, they're letting TV raise their children, and they're raising them to be degenerate black and Hispanic men and women.
Watch this, man. Get that scripture in Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 3. And I want you to read verse 11. You wonder why a lot of our kids are jacked up mentally. Watch what the book of Sirach says about this. Go ahead, read that for me.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3 and verse 11. Let's go. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father.
Read that again.
For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father.
You take away that father's honor when you remove him out the household.
Yep.
You automatically, the son thinks, what? Nick, you wasn't here. You weren't here when I was growing up. You wasn't here to see me. You didn't teach me how to do this. You didn't teach me how to do that. I had to learn from the gangs. I had to learn from the uncles. I had to learn from mama's boyfriends. You ain't got no honor in here. What Tupac say in one of his songs? He said you was a black queen mama, even though you was a crack fiend mama, I thought, or drug fiend. Or
you was a black queen mama, even though you was a crack fiend. Yeah,
a crack fiend mama.
Yep.
No love for my daddy because the coward wasn't there.
Dang.
That's the scripture right here. That was engineered by Edomites to destroy us as a race. We black men got to realize that too, and start picking the women that we lay down with more wisely, and not be laying with them for fornication, for unmarried sex. But the only time we lay down with them is when they are our wives now. So now we've got more of a bond, more of a reason to stay, because we're not here to have sex. We're here to have a family, to make a family with us. Because ultimately, as a man, you want this to happen. Read that again, verse 11.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 11. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father.
Now, what has happened where people have tried to make us have a single parent households and glorifying all of that stuff? Jump back to verse 10.
Verse 10. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father.
We have now reversed it and glory in the dishonor of our fathers. Right. He wasn't there. I still made it. Hey, he wasn't nothing, and I still made it. Look at me. I stand up. I ain't grow with nobody on myself. One pillow, one apartment. What? I did this myself.
One pillow.
We glory.
Hey, Cat. Not only do we, because it says, read that bottom part again.
For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father.
Read.
And a mother in dishonor is a reproach.
No. The one you just read.
Verse 10. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father.
Like you said, that was a heavy point, Cap, because we glorify it. We glory in that. Another way we glory in that is in our media. The rap songs glorify baby fathers. The rap songs glorify deadbeat dads. They glorify all of that. I got this many kids and this many baby mamas, and I ain't taking care of my kids. We glorify that stuff. And that's how we glorify the dishonor of a father, because that's a dishonorable thing. To be a baby father. I hope y'all, I want to listen clear. That is a derogatory term. That is not nothing to be proud of. That ain't nothing to kudos. Same thing with baby mother. That is a derogatory term that we have now glorified. Damn,
that's heavy right there, man. Go back to that video. That's a good video, man.
It's destruction personified.
Dang, hold on.
78% of black husbands were in their homes, married to the mother of their children, when they started the social engineering of the welfare state. Fast forward 50 years, 78% of black children are being raised in single-headed households. This is destruction personified.
This was destruction personified, magnified, put in place. And this goes back to Micah 2, where they lay on their beds, they devise iniquity, they devise evil, and they practice it. That's a prime example of them practicing it, of what they devised, because before they implemented it, it was 78% fathers in the home. They implemented the welfare state, which was a strategy to destroy the family, because in order to destroy a nation, you got to destroy the family, because that's where nations start. Now, fast forward 50 years, 78% is single households. And the father is nowhere to be found. Shows you what they implemented worked. Tell you, Esau, they think deep. They think long term. Negroes think 5 minutes in their face. Black folks think long term.
Yes, sir. Hey, Cap, let me get a scripture real quick.
Go ahead.
Get Sirach 30 and verse 3. just like what you were saying in Michael 2, also the scripture you brought up in Judith 5. Our enemies understand the importance of having a father in the house, right? Read that for me, Rita.
The book of, you said Sirach 30, correct?
Yes, sir. Sirach 30 and verse 3.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
It say, he that grieveth his son, teacheth his son, grieveth the enemy. Like a Christian pastor ain't grieving the enemy.
Right.
Right. Ain't grievous at all to the enemy. The enemy looks straight past you. This going into how we teach our sons the ordinance of God, how to stand up boldly. You know what I'm saying? How to rise up against the enemy. Like, for example, like during the Black Panther movement, that when they taught their sons, they grieved the enemy. That's why they had to kill off their fathers. They had to figure out how to get the father out of the household, right? It's the same way with us today, right? Keep reading.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Keep reading.
Verse 4, though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead.
This is what the enemy is afraid of. This is what the enemy is afraid of. They're afraid of the black man, the Israelite man, that is able to stand up manfully against the injustice of his people, that stand up manfully to correct his nation, to make it a better nation, to actually put marriage in our community, to increase the marriage rate in our community, right? Can we?
For he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
That is like himself. Can we?
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies.
This is what they're afraid of. That we are raising our sons to be avengers for the nation. Because that's what our nations need. Our nation need men to rise up for them. The Christian, not the Christian pastor. Esau ain't scared of no damn YN. Nah. He ain't afraid of no YN. He's afraid of men that actually building up the community to make the community better so that our God will defend us.
Esau created the YN.
He's good merchandise. He's going to make a good slave.
Yep.
Right.
All right, watch this. I'm going to play this next one.
88% of black husbands were in their home.
Wonder how they choose where to build prisons. It's not about crime, not really. There's something called predictive modeling. It's simple, sinisterly simple. They take test scores.
I'm telling you, listen to what they call in the stuff. All this stuff are systems that they put in place. They practice it. Systems that they practice. All this stuff is put in place for a reason. Why? Because they're the social engineering, the certain things they do, like predictive modeling. I know black people ain't never heard of that before in their life, predictive modeling. Watch this, I'm gonna play on.
Mostly reading scores, 3rd grade. They plug them into a system and the system spits out a map. If enough kids in a certain zip code can't read at grade level by age 8, that neighborhood gets flagged. Not for support, not for funding, for future incarceration. They don't send tutors, they send architects. Blueprints start rolling, land.
Oh, hold on, what happened?
Where we at?
Hold on. Let me fix it. All right.
Disappeared on us.
Yeah, let me fix it. Somebody say something.
What Officer Zabar doing on here?
Yeah, y'all gotta stop touching stuff.
Oh man.
IT strike again?
No.
IT.
No, it ain't IT. It's Jazz, say something.
Hey, all praise to the Most High.
Oh gosh.
Hey, real talk. This is some good information to get put out because our people need to hear this, man. Because there's something our people are afraid to do is to detach themselves from Esau, right? Hey, Rita, can you get 2 Corinthians 6 and 17?
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 17.
This is what the Most High God commanded of us. If we want to be a better nation, this is what we got to do.
Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
This is what we have to do. We have to come out from among the nations. That's what we got to do. In order for us to come together and be great again, that great and mighty nation, we have to come out from among them and be separate. And we can't be afraid of that. That's how we was able to build up Black Wall Street, because we were separate. We got to come back to that.
Right. All right, I'm gonna go back. Seems like we back together now. Where'd that video go? Oh, here we go.
The prison contracts start before the kids even hit puberty. And it's quiet because folks think prison gets built where the crime is. But in truth, they get built where the system expects people to fail. Companies invest in it, politicians profit off it. It's a business, and the business need customers.
It says companies invest in it, politicians profit off of it. It's a business, and business needs customers.
Companies look at
that. They got kids right there, y'all.
Hey, but think about it. This only works if all the other systems they put in place happen.
Yeah.
You integrate them into their school systems that teach them to be nothing, that take away that inventing mind that we had, that be somebody mind. You teach them to be nothing. You teach them that they aren't nothing, that the only people that are inventors, you go from learning about all these black inventors, because I guarantee you in those black schools during segregation, they were learning about all that list of black inventors that we were bringing out. They were learning self-esteem. Now you go into this school, this segregated, that's supposed to be better for you, Caucasian, integrated, right? This integrated Caucasian school. Now the only thing you're learning about is all these Caucasian inventors and everything they did and how they overthrew this and they overthrew African countries and they overthrew these nations. And the only thing you learn about a black inventor is George Washington Carver, and he invented peanut butter. And then outside of that, you hear about Thomas Edison and Benjamin Franklin and all these other people. And guess what slowly begins to happen? Think about the recesses of a child. He begins to see and picture that, okay, black people, we don't do anything. And Caucasians, they're the ones that create
rappers.
Everything and do everything.
You're supposed to be rappers.
Yes.
NBA players. NFL
right.
players.
And that's what I was getting to. So now when you see greatness, the only thing you see now, like you said, is football players, rappers, basketball players. We don't see those inventors no more. And guess what you decide to do? Because you got to think, there's only I know in basketball, there's only 400 spots in the NBA. And football, I'm pretty sure, is similar. So if you ain't one of those people, you're not making it. So guess what you're going to do? You have nothing else. So you turn to crime. You turn to violence. You turn to hope deferred. And that's where I'm telling you, these school to prison, that's where now this system that they put in place, these corporations and businesses are investing into it. Now that's in there to where now school to prison pipeline, filter them on in there.
Right.
I got you. Based
Go ahead,
off
Cap.
what you said. Give me Sirach 38 and 31. And I'm going to jump down just to make the point. Basically, it's talking about a person within their craft and their mindset, but what happens to them in the end. Go ahead. 38, 31.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 31.
Because if all those traps don't get you and you don't end up in the system like they planned, and you're that token black guy that got a job and stayed clean, read.
All these trusts to their hands.
So they become regular citizens. You know, your grandpas and your uncles that just can't stop working. They have to have something, some contribution to society. Read.
All these trusts to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. Without these, cannot a city be inhabited?
Which is necessary. We need regular citizens that have regular jobs and skills. City needs this to flourish. True. Read.
And they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down.
Jump down to 34 just to make the point.
Verse 34.
Because the point is these type of people will be so focused on keeping society going that they won't get the understanding of the Bible. They will stay in that cycle of I got to the American dream. I got to live out my life and happiness, working my job and satisfying, paying my taxes, being the best citizen that I can be. Read.
Verse 34. But they will maintain the state of the world.
And that's what happens to our people. When all the systems don't work, you didn't become a drug addict, you didn't get a record, none of that. You do this. Read.
Damn. Hold on, Cap. That's a part of the system too.
Yeah,
to maintain the state of this world. Because remember, we're conditioned. We're not conditioned to be nothing more than NBA players, basketball players, OnlyFans, drug addicts, junkies, gang members, or 9-to-5 factory workers.
Yep.
Slave, field, Negroes.
Nothing great.
Nothing great.
Finish that up.
But they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft.
That's all they're about. They ain't got nothing left to do. And then when they retire, that's all they want to talk about. Yeah, man, when I was working, I was this and I was that. They have given no contribution to their people. Just dead.
Right. Hey, get Ephesians 2 real quick. Because I know we keep talking about the media and things of that nature. Watch this. Get Ephesians 2. Read verse 2.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 2. Wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world.
We walked according to the course of this world in time past. Everything we're bringing out is the course of this world and how this society wants us to operate as black people. Watch this, read.
According to the prince of the power of the air.
Listen, it says the prince of the power of the air. That's going into the airwaves, his media, his social media. That's how we walk. That's how we're conditioned. That's why it says we walked according to the prince of the power of the air. We are conditioned by social media that goes into social engineering. All these things that we breaking out is how we are people have been conditioned. Yeah. And it's time for us to break up and come up out of that. Because watch this. I want. Here's another example. Watch this. Y'all may have heard of this. Oh, hold on. Have y'all ever heard of the term behavioral sink?
Never heard of it.
Okay, watch this. So behavioral sink. Read that. Because this goes into another. All these things we're bringing out is a form of their social engineering. Those policies, those things that they put in place to keep us destroyed as a people. Read that.
You blow it up.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no, that's as far as it goes.
Okay, yeah, you got Officer Jazz zooming in with his whole face.
Hold on. I can read it if y'all don't worry. I can read it. Hold on.
I got it here. It says behavioral sink is a term invented by ethiologist John B. Calhoun to describe
Calhoun. We're just gonna name him Esau Edom.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Calhoun to describe a collapse in behavior that can result from overpopulation.
Hold on, listen. He said it was invented to describe a collapse in behavior from overpopulation. Watch this.
The term and concept derived from a series of overpopulation experiments Calhoun conducted on Norway rats between 1958 and 1962.
Look at the dates. 1958, 1962. That was all around the time of you got the Brown versus Board of Education, all these different things that they're implementing. Remember, black people was unifying. They want to rise. The welfare state was being implemented, things of that nature, civil rights. So he conducted this with Norway rats. Watch this.
In the experiments, Calhoun and his researchers created a series of rat utopias in closed spaces. In closed spaces where rats were given unlimited access to food and water, enabling unfettered population growth.
So they were put in closed spaces and they were given unlimited access to food and water. Things should start to projects. Welfare homes, Section 8 homes, food stamps. That's unlimited food and water. All these things. Watch this. Read them.
It says here, Calhoun coined the term behavioral sink in a February 1st, 1962 Scientific American article titled Population Density and Social Pathology on the Rat Experiment. He would later perform similar experiments on mice from 68 to 72.
Now, read that bottom statement. Watch this.
Calhoun's work became used as an animal model of societal collapse, and his study has become a touchstone of urban sociology and psychology in general.
Meaning his study and what he's done has now become the touchstone of urban, which we know what urban means, black sociology and psychology in general. Now watch this. I want to pull up some photos real quick.
So they took what he did on rats and said, we're going to use it on black folk.
Now watch this. All right, so you see these pictures, right? These are projects from an aerial view, project homes. You see them, they're cut it off. You got blocks, you got all this stuff like that. Let me put up another. Here's another aerial view, project homes. And you just search project from an aerial view, and you'll kind of see, you see this section right here, kind of blocked off right there in the middle of the grass. Now watch this. I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna pull up the next one. This was a diagram of his what he did. What does that look? What does that look like?
Projects.
High-rise projects. And when you go into it, let me find it. It right here. It says watch, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna highlight it right there. It says Calhoun's new rat palace consisted of a 3-meter by 4-meter room divided into 4 pens by an electrified fence. These pens contained everything a rat could possibly need: food, water, elevated burrows, winding staircases, nets, things of that nature. Let's go back to the picture. Remember, it says he divided it into 4 pens. He broke them up into projects.
Yep.
Broken up right there. Broken up right there.
You connect at every end. You got somebody on your right. You got somebody on your left. You got somebody behind you. They got somebody behind them. They got somebody right. They got somebody left. You all interconnected in that thing.
So when you examine this stuff, these are all the policies and get that in Daniel.
So the projects is outdoors prison.
Yep.
Right.
Same setup.
And it was engineered. This was put in place based off what this Edomite experiment. Understand this. That's what I say. Anything they introduce to us is not for the benefit of our people. That goes back to what the sister talked about with the welfare state, the social engineering of the welfare state. They made it seem good to get the welfare house, to get the Section 8, to get the food stamp, to get the certain things of that nature, not realizing all that was by design to cultivate and create what you see today with our people in society. Because, go ahead, what would you gonna say, Cap? Got the door? Go ahead, get Daniel.
No, you got it.
Daniel, what was that, 8? Through his policies.
Yeah.
I ain't looking at it.
25.
Read that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 25. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
All his policies that he put in place. Because remember, during that time, that's when you had, I forgot the president's name. He started putting the welfare state in place. These were all policies that was passed they say was supposed to be the benefit of black communities.
Or the low income.
For the low income. But ultimately, it was to our detriment. Remember, it says through his policies, he caused craft to prosper. Because watch this, when you go back, let me go back there, because it was a part we did not read. No, right here. I want you to, I'm going to read this middle part right here. Because this is what he gathered. This is the information he gathered from his study. And tell me what this sounds like. It says many female rats were unable to carry the pregnancy to full term or to survive delivery of their litters if they did. An even greater number, after successful giving birth, fell short in their maternal functions. What does that sound like today?
It couldn't be a mother.
Abortions, Planned Parenthood.
Wow.
And then if the child does survive the womb,
you ain't a mother.
You ain't a mother. You let TV raise them because you're too busy living your best life. Now watch this. It says among the males, the behavior disturbance range from sexual deviation,
sleeping around,
to cannibalism, killing one another, murdering one another, from fanatic overactivity to a pathological withdrawal from which individuals would emerge to eat, drink, and move about only when other members of the community were asleep.
Oppression.
Oppression. Yep. It says the social organization of animals showed equal disruption. All this stuff, he got these findings. He's always like, okay, wait a minute. We can use this. Because remember, the whole point of it was to what? Go back to the point up here. It says the collapse in behavior. So all these things was engineered for us, us to begin to hate ourselves, for us to begin to kill ourselves, for us to begin to not see the greatness in one another's, and ultimately that's what you get today. Get that in Malachi. I'm sorry, Malachi, chapter 4, start at verse 1.
And you know what's crazy, Cap? It was a black lady that said there is not too many things about the 70s. Like the 70s was there's really no history of what we went through in the 70s. You don't see it too often. And she said that's when all the social engineering started happening and playing out. And then boom, we in the 80s and the 90s where drugs and gangs and took over.
Drugs, gangs, and pulpit pastors.
Right.
Read that. Oh yeah, we ain't forgot about y'all.
Book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 1. Let's go. For behold, the day coming.
Not Malachi, I'm sorry, Hosea. Hosea 4 and 1. Go ahead and get that. Hey, so remember, right down there, donate to the Booster Club to continue, so we can continue to push this work and reverse the social engineering that Esau has put upon our people with the word of God. Read that.
Give me a second.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 1.
I got it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. Okay, go ahead.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
Read.
Because there is no truth.
There's no laws of God. Read.
No mercy.
There's no what?
Nor mercy. Nor mercy.
Hey, listen, that's y'all just seen it live, an example of social engineer. No, I'm just playing.
Dang.
It says no mercy, meaning we don't love one another no more. We're quick to kill one another. Read on.
Nor knowledge of God in the land.
Nor knowledge of God in the land. Watch this, read.
By swearing.
Come on.
And lying. And killing. And stealing. And committing adultery. They break out and blood touches blood.
This is what you see in our communities. You see the lying, you see the killing, you see the stealing, you see the adultery, you see the blood touching blood, the murder. All of that you see in our community. And when you really examine it, you can go back, you can see Esau designed all of this for our people. And ultimately it's due to the fact that we broke God's commandments. So the power's in his hand now. But you see all of that happening in our communities. And guess what? The Christian church ain't exempt from a part of that too. Because think about it. When you got pastors that's saying this, think about what you got all this social engineering happening to where now we degenerate. We think less of ourselves. We feel like we're nothing. And then you got black pastors coming on saying this.
It's not a black man. I saw this well-known preacher on Easter Sunday was saying he was preaching that Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, the death, burial, and resurrection that they preach about was all about the persecution of a black man, and that how Jesus was a black man, and that his evidence that Jesus was a black man was because he didn't get a fair trial by the Roman government. And that he used
You said what, Cat?
This Negro here. Go ahead, man. Let it play.
Begin to manipulate the black men in the room and start declaring no weapon formed against the black men will prosper.
Think about it. This is a form of social engineering.
Yep, exactly right. Straight up.
Listen to what he's saying. He's saying, he started off by Jesus was not a black man. And he began to go into how he was listening to a black man and how he was manipulating the men in the room to believe that Jesus was a black man. So that's manipulation. Last time I checked, I thought the truth was the truth. So now the truth is manipulation, but he has to say that. Why? Because remember, we read in that video earlier, all these systems were set in place. The school, the church, the correctional facilities, they were all set up for social engineering to keep you asleep. So he has to say that, because think about it. If we start seeing Christ as a black man, then we're going to start looking at each other like, okay, Dan, you look like Christ. And now we'll start seeing Christ in each other. Now we'll think twice before what we read in Hosea, blood toucheth blood, and committing adultery and lying and stealing against each other, because now we see Christ in one another. So when you have pastors get on here and say this, it affirms, it instills the thought that Esau put in our mind that we ain't nothing, that Christ don't look like us, that we can never abstain to be anything, and I'm just a Gentile and a Negro, and I can just continue to murder and kill because I ain't never gonna be nothing.
Yeah, black people think imagery does not have any effect on their mental thought pattern or process.
Yep.
That white man doesn't believe that. That's why he clearly made Caesar Bowl the new image of Jesus the Christ. He clearly made it that. He did not lead. He didn't make it a silhouette. He gave it color. He gave it hair texture. He gave it eye color to look like him, to empower his people in this country that he was now creating and starting to build. He didn't make it look like a black man. He didn't make it look brown. He didn't make it look like an ethnic Jew either.
Right.
This whole man, where's the picture at, man? Pull up the picture, man.
It's by design. You're right, Cap.
He didn't make it look like that.
No, not at all.
He didn't make it look like Habib on the 7-Eleven corner store.
Hey, right. He wasn't Middle Eastern.
Right.
It wasn't none of that, which newsflash for y'all. Hold on. I gotta pull this up real quick. Hold on. Newsflash for y'all that want to talk about freaking Middle Eastern. Y'all listen, y'all gotta stop watching Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
y'all took that straight from Lord of the Rings. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Talk while I'm doing it.
How you know imagery is important? Because when what's that mermaid name? When that mermaid Ariel, when
what's
she was changed to a black.
Haley
Berry.
Yeah. Haley Berry is her real name.
As a black woman, our kids loved it. They rejoiced. Some of our kids even cried seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Even when Black Panther, even though it's apparently they were saying it's a universe kind of thing, but they changed his image to being white. A lot of black people got upset, right? That's how we know imagery is important. So when you change the image of the greatest man that walked the face of the earth, it destroys the mind of the people.
Yes.
And make them look at themselves like they ain't nothing. And then you got a Negro like Pam come up and telling you that it doesn't matter what he look like, or he's not a black man like you.
Yep.
Hey, whenever y'all say Middle Eastern, this is what y'all sound like.
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth. That's what y'all sound like.
Can you zoom in on that? Read that, man.
Yeah, it says Middle Earth is the fictional continent where J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and other related stories are set. That's what y'all sound like.
Yeah, people start to talk about Middle Eastern, tell them this ain't Lord of the Rings.
This ain't Lord of the Rings.
Start saying that. This ain't Lord of the Rings. You ain't Schmeagle. This is what Christ looked like, right?
That's right. Boom.
That's what he looked like. Ain't saying that's his exact facial features and all of that, but the Bible describes him as a dark-skinned black man, what we would call black man today, with woolly hair that was all white, and the eyes of his eyes was red.
Hey, you know how mentally destroyed we are? Cap, the fact that you have to mention That we ain't saying that's his exact features and shows how destroyed we are.
Yeah,
it shouldn't matter because ain't nobody saying that about that damn Caesar Borgia right there.
Nobody says it.
That I guarantee you that might not be the Caesar Bow's exact features and hair, but dang it, you ain't questioning that.
Nope, you didn't
That's
say
how
he
destroy
looked
our
like Marilyn Manson and
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson. You ain't say he looked like that, but when we got to put disclaimers out for what the Bible says right there.
That's how you know we've been socially engineered.
That's what you go back to talking about. Church is a part of the social engineering to destroy the mental of us. They can't let us believe that we are the people of the book and our Messiah looks like that. He has to look like this on the left so that we can continue to be subservient to him. And then if we even want to fake to give him some color, well, then he look like an Arab. Stop it. You ain't never seen no Arabs birthed in a furnace with woolly hair. Stop it. Go ahead.
So I'm confused with the two examples that we just got. Fictional, our people cry when the fictional characters, well, hold on. When the non-fiction characters, our heroes, they're black and they get changed. We cry, we upset. But when it's real, we're angry that it's real. I'm thoroughly confused on what hero we really want.
That's back.
In reality, we want reparations. We want payback. We want vengeance. And we say, yes, we're going to get it. A black Messiah, a real living being is going to give it to us. But then Black Panther gets changed to a white man in a different universe. Wow. You can't have nothing in this system.
Right. It's crazy, man.
Hey, watch this too. We ain't done with the Christian church.
Check this out.
But Jesus was from Nazareth. And before they called him Jesus, his name was Yeshua. Which starts with what? A Y. So he was Yeshua of Nazareth.
This should be interesting.
So his first name initially started with what? A Y. Where was he from? Where? Nazareth. What's those acronyms? I want to tell you.
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
That Jesus was the first YN.
That's the dumbest thing
I'm sorry, I had to take them off the screen. This is what is being taught in the Christian church now. And it's all by design. Christ was the first YN. Christ was the first YN. Come on, man. It's time. So you mean to tell me this was Christ? Watch this. Let's show you some YNs. This was Christ. This is a result of the social engineering from schools, from churches, from the prison systems. This is a result of it. Everybody's jumping on the floor. You got a whole your mic muted, Cap.
He said Christ was one of these, though, right?
Right. That's what he's saying. Our people are crazy. All this stuff is a result. Ain't no fireworks. Right.
Ain't talking to a 5-year-old son.
Ain't no fireworks they shoot. This has been the results of everything from the behavioral sync to the school to prison pipeline to what they've implemented with the school system, all this stuff, the social engineering. And now you fast forward to today, and this is a result of our people. And you got dumb black Christians, even to this day, saying it doesn't matter what Christ looked like. He's don't manipulate the people, and Christ was the first YN. You can't make this up.
Because I was happy because I already knew where we were going to lead to. Not even just saying like trying to glorify, even though that was the word I want to see. I just know like they going to take me to another level. Happy. Yeah, like when I went to the hospital, the doctor, they were like,
listen to him.
I'm like, you seem so upbeat and because I was just smiling. Like when I told you this euphoria.
He said it's euphoria. Think about it. And this man right here, how we go from the 4-year-old we played where you knew he was not on a path for this to where now you get to this and it's euphoria to unalive your own family member.
Euphoria, a feeling or state of intense excitement and happiness.
It's happiness.
Delight, glee, joy.
And this is how you know everything that our oppressor, this Caucasian man, this white man has put into play has been implemented and has prospered. Remember, it says he through his policies, he calls craft to prosper. You see it, it's evident. So don't be confused and blind saying, oh no, y'all hate the white man and y'all da. No, we see the system. We see the things that's been put in place. We know what the Bible says, and everything that's been put in place has been to the detriment of our people. Like this, watch this. This right here, I ain't gonna lie, this pissed me off.
Realize like maybe I got these kids in survival mode. I don't know.
Cause the women, what you're seeing right here is an example of that welfare state we talked about. The behavioral sink. All these mothers are growing up, and if the kids do survive, like we read in the behavioral sink, they're not using any of their maternal functions. They're not any of their motherly functions. They are not doing.
I think so. I'm always saying be tough, keep it going, don't express yourself to nobody, whatever you
look. Give me Ezekiel real quick.
That on the side of her face, man.
That's a tattoo. I was just about to say that. Get Ezekiel 16. Look, just examine. Look at the top. This is the mother. She all tatted up, tattoos everywhere. That's her daughter on the bottom. Tattoos all over her face.
Damn.
And she's going the same path. Get Ezekiel 16. Read verse 44.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
That's how you know the Bible is a true book. As is the mother, so is the daughter. That is the cycle that has been put into play. That degenerate OnlyFans cycle, that video vixen, over hypersexualized cycle that has just been perpetuated from generation to generation to generation. Well, guess what? The Bible's here to break that cycle.
That's right.
Because that's the only thing that's going to break that cycle.
You can get all of that type of stuff. And Nova, Nene, I call her Nene.
Mom, don't do all that.
She takes it to a whole nother level. But you say you like when I call you Nene.
No, they people gonna start calling me Nene.
She wants to do everything, but I just came to the conclusion, let me let her be herself, because when I left.
Here we go. Let me let her be herself. That translates to, I'm gonna let social media and I'm gonna let the system raise her.
Whatever she want to do.
Whatever she want to do.
Baby.
Cause my story and cause I'm strong.
And you real,
like I keep going.
You real,
that's why they watch
raw.
me for real, Mom. They be like, I watch you cause you make me keep going, because I see how you keep going,
But what makes you keep going now?
God.
And then they all go back to the Christian. Yes,
man.
And that's a prime example.
I was not expecting that.
Of all, I know. And that's a prime example of everything we've been bringing out. All the systems are all together to keep our people destroyed. Because the God she talking about ain't the God of this Bible.
Nah.
It's the God she learned in Sunday church, that white image, this one right here. That's who she's imagining and picturing, and that's what keeps her going in sin. Because the keep her going, she's talking about. Because when you watch the interview, she's talking. She's in OnlyFans. She's in prostitution. She's in all these things. Hey, get that in Deuteronomy.
Gosh.
So that's what she's talking about. That motivates to keep me going. Tell y'all people to destroy it. Get that dude off the screen. Get that Deuteronomy. Prostitute, not that daughter.
Leviticus.
Oh, Leviticus.
19.
I'm sorry. Leviticus 19, yeah.
29.
Yep.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 29.
Come on.
I'm sorry. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
The Bible says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. You know how you can do that? By saying stuff like, I just let her do whatever she want to do. And now she wants to, she sees what all black children see on social media is the only way to make it and the only way to be successful is I got to show my body. I have to devalue myself and degrade myself in order to make it. And now they've normalized it to where now it's cool and it's okay to be like that. And that's what she see when the Bible tells us, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. This is why all the social engineering that Esau's put in place, they put it in place to keep this out of the household. Because think about if there was a father in that home. Think about if there was a father in that home. A father ain't letting their daughter shake their behind and show all that. Shoot, no. But a single mother will. Because she was raised the same way. She was doing the same thing. Look at her. Look at how she's dressed. Look at how she moved. I'm telling you. Y'all got something?
It would be belt to butt if it was a father in the house. She is not going or doing anything that she want to do.
No, not at all.
You said she's 14 with a face tattoo?
With a face tattoo. 14. I'm telling you, that's why.
You muted Caps, car.
Yeah, you leave she got a little heart on the side of her head, man.
That's why the Bible, the prophets of God is instrumental in our communities. That's why we need this right here.
Right.
Sir. We need this right here.
Yeah.
We need this.
They need this.
They need to see this. Because this is what's going to change the minds of our people. Right. True black unity according to the Bible. Because for too long, we everything, all the systems are against us. Everything is at odds with us. That's why the scripture says, gather together, O nation, not desired. We must come back and unify. Because these are all fathers that you see.
Yep.
Uncles that you see.
That's right.
That ain't gonna play with that BS right there. And it's gonna raise a generation of people that fear God. And this is what your enemy fears. All its social engineering was put in place to stop this. Yep. That is what you see. Yep. But guess what? There is a God.
That's
and
right.
There ain't nothing Esau can do to stop the coming of the nation of Israel under the rule of Jesus the Christ, the Black Messiah.
Yeah, right.
Y'all got anything else?
Hey, Cal, I was gonna get a scripture real quick back to what the sister said about letting her daughter do what she want to do, right? Hey, give me Sirach 30 and verse 8. Sirach chapter 30 and verse 8. Because that's a problem with majority of our women today in single parent household, letting their child do what they want to do. They become best friends with their young daughters, right? Read that for me.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 8. And the horse not broken becometh headstrong.
Now, the Most High comparing this to a child. A horse not broken become headstrong. As our children, they have to be trained from their youth up. Same like a horse. You got to train them from their youth up. If you don't train a horse, the horse will buck against you. The horse will become willful. Same with our children, right? Read.
And a child left to himself will be willful.
And a child left to himself will be willful. But watch this, verse 9.
Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid.
The scripture say, conquer thy child. Because what our women like to do today, they like to pamper and coddle their kids. Don't train their kids to do anything. Don't train them kids in the commandments of God. Don't whoop their kids when they mess up. The scripture say, conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Right? Read.
Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness.
And that heaviness, that young daughter gonna grow up just like the mother. Grow up having kids out of wedlock, 3-4 kids before she's 18, 19, or before she's married. Having all these kids and never end up getting married. Now, the mother now sitting there at home having to take care of her child due to her negligence. That's all I got, Cap.
All praises. All right, all praises. Y'all got anything else?
No, that's it,
so,
man.
Hey, all praises to the Most High. That's our time. Hey, listen. Hey, stay tuned. We back next Thursday. Same time, same place.
This Thursday.
Yes, this Thursday. I'm tripping. This Thursday. I don't know why I said next Thursday. This Thursday. Same time, same place, same Bible.
That's right.
Israelites on the scene, here to let you know. Yes, I come in, not that Bible, casting down imaginations. Let's go. Israelites on the scene, here to let you know. Yeah, his eyes like wine and his feet like brass, and you know his woolly hair same color that snow. Yeah, like wine.